Hi, this is Happy Bird from happybirdsglitternest.blogspot.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make a very easy ornament using a super easy base. And even though there is glitter on here, this glitter is 100% no shed, and you don't have to deal with the glitter either. And I'll explain more about that coming up. I think you'll be surprised. And this is a very effective, very beautiful way to make ornament bases, tags, cards, even journal covers. So stay tuned and I'll show you exactly how I did this. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to make all your bases. And I would advise you to do this the day before. That way you can allow these to dry overnight. And the longer it dries, the harder it becomes. And to me, it's just as sturdy as a wood piece. And I used 110-pound white cardstock, okay? And I punched out 4 circles, and I glued them together with Beacon Fabri-Tac, okay? And I just made sure they were nice and even, and pressed them down, and just allowed them to dry overnight. I also added a circle of the glittered cardstock, the no shed glittered cardstock that I told you I found at Walmart. I believe it was the Shabby Chic eggshell Christmas ornament video that I shared that in, so you can go back and look at that if you'd like. All right. So I thought before we started I would show you some of the glittered vinyl I found at Hobby Lobby. So let me get that. And before I show you the glittered vinyl, I'm going to show you some lace here that I just randomly pulled out, okay? And this was a piece of lace that I used from the wedding dress that I cut up. Do you remember when I did that haul video? So I just took a piece of this lace, and I'm going to show you what it looks like behind certain cardstocks. This is just a piece of stretch lace, okay? This is a little fancier. It has some sparkles and some embroidery, okay? This is just lace that I purchased from AliExpress, very inexpensive. Now, I would highly advise when you do use the lace that you use the lace where there's a lot of openings, a lot of see-through openings, okay, because your glitter will really stand out then. And I bought this white lace at Hobby Lobby in the fabric department. I thought it was just beautiful. And normally it's about $8.99 a yard. But what I did was I bought 1/4 of a yard just to kind of play around with it. And I really loved it. The openings, the print was pretty and it had a sheen to it. There was plenty of openings for the glitter to peek through. So by buying 1/4 of a yard, I ended up paying like $2.24. So that's not bad at all. So I'm going to start out by showing you some of the glittered vinyl. And what I love about the glittered vinyl, more so than glittered cardstock, is the fact that it doesn't shed. I love that. And no matter what you do, it doesn't shed. Okay, it's glued on there nice and tight. And it is just gorgeous. In my opinion, I think the glittered vinyl shines more than the glittered cardstock, and it's flexible. Now, at one time, you could get a sheet of this at Hobby Lobby for $1.99, but I've noticed that fairly recently they've raised it to $2.49 a sheet, which is still not bad, but let's see. And let's see, we have a pretty green, and then we have, that's a bright red, huh? And you can tell some of these pieces I've already cut things out of. This is the silver. And you know what else I did one Christmas? They had all these vinyl glittered placemats for 70% off or 75% off, something like that, at Hobby Lobby. It was after Christmas. And I bought those placemats for 75% off. And they were the glittered vinyl. It did not shed at all, and it looked just like these pieces. And it turned out beautiful. I made some poinsettias out of them. And, you know, thinking back, I didn't add the lace to it, but I could have done that on those poinsettias. I think it would have been really pretty. So here's another piece. This is more like a pink. And this is a different color pink. And I definitely need to get some more white. I've used a lot of this, as you can see, but I think the colors are gorgeous, and then the gold is just to die for. Really lovely. Now when you put all this behind lace, it's even better. And I'll show you with the gold. See how it peeks out? And you have that beautiful lace on it? Isn't that lovely? And let's try it with the pink. Let's use, I don't know. Let's use this little piece of white just to see what it looks like. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. Let's see how it sparkles, the white. Do that. Isn't that lovely? Just lovely. And let's see. How about the purple? We'll look and see how that does. This is kind of a lavender type pink, so let's try that just to see if it shows up. I don't know. Oh yeah, look how pretty. Isn't that lovely? Beautiful ornaments this would make. So, and then the wedding dress lace, I think that would be gorgeous too. This is one of my favorite colors. It's kind of a teal green, and I'm kind of drawn to that quite often. Okay, so we're just going to put a little bit of that lace there. Oh, isn't that lovely? Behind that background. So, let's see. I'm going to try this with a lace here too, the wedding lace. Oh, I think I like that even more so. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? That's pretty. Okay. So I just wanted to show you a little example here, so we'll move on now and I'll show you how I made the ornament. Okay, so I decided I was going to use the pink lace with this white background, and I think it'll be perfect for the decoration that I'm planning to use with this. So we'll go ahead and get started. Now the first thing I like to do is I'm going to turn this over, and I'm just going to take some of my Beacon Fabri-Tac. And I'm going to start by placing like little dots, or dotting it all the way around the edge as close as I can get to the edge without the glue seeping out over the edge, if that makes sense. Because to me the most important part is that the lace be glued on the edges, the vinyl be glued on the edges, and then I'll just put a little bit here in the middle. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is glue our vinyl on. I'm just going to turn this upside down here and just press it like this. Then I'm going to use my nice sturdy scissors and just rough cut this out. It's just so much easier to cut when you don't have the rest of the vinyl dragging behind. Okay. Okay. Set this aside. Alright, so I'm going to allow this to dry first, and then I'm going to come back in with my detail scissors and cut around this, okay? Okay, so I have my little detail scissors here, and I'm just going to take my time, and I'm leaning the blades of the scissor against the base, and I'm just taking my time cutting this very slowly. I'm not in any hurry. I'm going to cut that off so I can keep cutting a little easier. Cut that off and just keep cutting. And I'm turning the base as I'm cutting. Cutting slowly. Okay. See? That turn out pretty? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is come in with our lace. Alright? Now you can decide exactly where you want this lace. You want a flower in the middle like that? Do you want to just use, maybe the leaf part? It's totally up to you. I think that for me, maybe a little like this with a rose type thing in the middle. Okay? So the first thing you're going to do is take your Fabri-Tac, your Beacon Fabri-Tac, and I'm going to focus on just the edges, making a very thin line by making a series of very teeny dots. Because to me, gluing the lace around the edge here is the most important place for it to hold, because if that is secure, then you don't really need anything that much in the middle, and you won't be covering up a lot of the sparkle. Okay, so in the middle, I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that. Okay, I'm going to lay this down. Okay, and just with my hand straight like this, I'm just gonna tap it. Okay. I'm gonna rough cut this out. Oops. I'm going to allow this to dry 100%. Okay? Make sure it's pressed on those edges. Alright, you don't want to rush it, so I'm going to allow this to dry, and then we'll be back and I'll cut around the lace with my detail scissors. Okay, so we're going to turn this over, and leaning our blades against the base, we're just going to take our time and cut all the way around like this. Okay, almost there. And then just kind of look at the back of the base, and if you see any little straggly edges, just come in and kind of tilt your scissors a little. Kind of get off all the fuzzies. Make it look nice and neat. Okay. Alrighty. Now look how beautiful this base turned out. And like I said before, you could use the same method on tags, and I've even used the same method on cards made from a nice cardstock on the front of the cards. So, you know, basically anything. So, let's see. Next thing we're going to do, I'm going to take a gold bale. I bought this from Hobby Lobby. You get 6 pieces in the package. This is about 24 millimeters in height. Okay, the width really doesn't matter. And I'm just going to glue it like this with my Fabri-Tac glue, and then I'm going to wait until it's completely dry before I move on with the next parts, because you're going to want this dry completely before you do that. So I'll put a little bit right here. And I'll just decide which way I want it to go and just lay it down right here. Okay, so I'm just going to allow that to dry absolutely 100% completely. And I'll be back. Okay, so this is dried. So the next thing that we're going to do is glue on some of this pearl trim. It's 4 millimeter, okay, and it's at Hobby Lobby. I don't pay this price for it. I usually wait until it's on sale, which happens twice a month, and everything is half off. All the spools of trim, ribbons, tulle, and so you'll see that in the fabric section. Just check their Sunday ads, okay? And you get 24 feet for this. Now if you don't have a Hobby Lobby near you, they also sell some beautiful pearl trim at Walmart. It's in the Simplicity brand. It's a little more expensive. I think it's pretty close to $5 a roll, but that is an option in case you don't have a Hobby Lobby near you. Okay. So very carefully, I'm going to go around here with my Fabri-Tac. Move some stuff out of the way here. And I'm going to start right here next to the bail. And just be careful when you go around. You don't want to overdo it with the glue. And I like working in pieces or sections. Snip it off. Think about here. Like that. And then I'll just continue running the glue around the edges. Oops. I see some strands of glue here. It's kind of flying around. I don't know where it's coming from. And I'm just going to do the same thing. Okay. Make sure it's on there. And I think I stopped about here. So, and then this last little bit, just make sure it's nice and even all the way around. So just have this last little bit. And we're going to make sure that this is dried thoroughly as well. We want this to be on here rock hard. I always try to be very careful with my ornaments as far as making sure everything's attached and glued on, because nothing is worse than giving a person an ornament that you've worked so hard on and then have it fall apart on them. Okay. Okay. All right, I think that looks good, so we're just going to allow it to dry. Okay. Absolutely thoroughly, and then we'll be back. Alright, so the first thing I did was I took some of these pine branches that I purchased in a package from Dollar Tree last year, and I cut about 1.5 inches off the end and then another 1.5 inches, so that gave me 2 little pieces of greenery here. So these are about 1.5 inches a piece, and I'm going to put this back in my bag. I wanted some greenery because this needs to look like Christmas since it's going on the Christmas tree, so I thought this would do the trick. And I'm just taking my hot glue gun and running a little bit of hot glue down the top part here. And I'm going to glue it like this. I'm giving it a little bit of space at the top. I kind of curved these around a little bit around here. Not a whole lot, but just a little. And then I'll glue that one here. So it does give just a little bit of space at the top. Okay, I think I need to lift my camera up a little bit. I hope I wasn't out of frame too much. Okay, and then I have these little pearl branches, and you can purchase these at Hobby Lobby. They're in the wedding section, and they have the silver wire and the gold wire like this. Okay, and I never paid $2.99 for it because twice a month Hobby Lobby will have all wedding supplies on sale for 50% off. That's when I pick these up. So I paid about $1.50 for these. Okay, and I just took my wire cutters and just cut off a branch and just straightened out the pearls and made it look nice and neat, and you know, just kind of manipulated them, you know, how I wanted it to look. Okay, which is what I did here. And I made the pearls kind of close together, and I kind of bent it just a little bit in the middle because I wanted it to go around this instead of sticking straight out. Okay, now I'm just going to put hot glue on the very end like this, and there's a reason for that, and I'll show you as we go along. But I'm just having all kinds of trouble keeping in frame. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Alright, get my hot glue gun. So I think I'm going to put the glue right here, just at the end. And then I'll just set it right here on the branches. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to hold this up a little bit so you can see what I did. Okay, and if you need to make this a little extra secure, you can just put a little bit of hot glue over the top. Alright, I'm going to allow this to dry so my fingers won't burn, and then we'll be back. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some roses. Now I could just kick myself in the pants for not picking up more of these at the Dollar Tree. Do you remember last February for Valentine's Day they put out these bags of white craft foam roses? Well, I did pick up one bag. I really didn't know what I was going to do with them, but these make the most beautiful Christmas roses with some iridescent sparkle to them. So this February I'm keeping my eyes open. I'm hoping that Dollar Tree will bring them back, because when they do, I'm picking up several bags, and that'll be for next Christmas. But yeah, so I got these, and what we're going to do is we're going to start by gluing these, and this is what I do. I take 3 roses, And these roses are approximately 1 inch long. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue here. And I'm going to set this fairly high. See? Like that. Alright, I'm going to put one here. You can have them face outwards and tilt it slightly downwards. Okay. And then I'm going to put these two right here. Okay. And you want them sitting close together. So putting a little bit of hot glue here. And I'm just going to see how I'm facing that a little downwards like that. And then I want this one really close to this one, so I'll kind of squish that in too. Put a little bit of hot glue. There we go. There we go. So it kind of looks like this. All right. And then next we're going to be putting some glitter. And this is what I do. I keep my Stickles bottle upside down like that while I'm working, and it helps a lot. That way I don't have to keep squeezing it to get it to come out when there's not a whole lot left in the bottle. Now, I love the Stickles by Ranger. You could use any type of iridescent color that they have. They've got a lot of them. They have diamond, twinkle, stardust, frosted lace, all kinds. Okay? And you can find them on eBay individually with free shipping if you have Prime. And they could be anywhere from $4 to $6. It just depends. Okay? So, I'm going to be putting a little bit of this right on the tips of the petals. Like I said, there's not much left in here, so you know what? I'm gonna need to get another bottle. Okay, I got the bottle going again. All right, so I'm just putting just a dab of Stickles right on the tips of the petals. Like this. And it'll really look beautiful once it completely dries. And they'll look like frosted Christmas roses, or roses with glittery snow on them. I don't know if you can see it. It'll show up a lot more when it dries. And you're going to put some here on your petal. Let me get my little pen and so I'm putting a little bit on the edges, and then since this petal is open, I'm putting a little bit on the open part of the petal as well. Do this here, do this here, here. It's going to look really pretty once it dries. I don't know if you can see the sparkle. And I'll do the same thing on the other roses. We're just going to go all the way around and do that. You can tell I don't have much in my bottle. When I squeeze it, you can see how deep it goes. Now I want you to know too, I was going to mention something that I didn't know if I mentioned earlier. The glittered vinyl that I showed you earlier in the video, I want you to know they have a ton more colors. I showed you just a few that I picked out, but they do have a lot of other colors as well. They have a real pretty baby blue glittered vinyl that I'd like to pick up as well, so I might buy that the next time I'm there. Okay. And see, you know, it takes a little time doing this, but boy, is it worth it. So I'll go ahead and do the last rows off camera, and then I'm going to allow this to dry for quite a few hours, maybe even overnight. Okay? And then we'll be back and put the finishing touches on this. Okay, so I cut about 12 inches of this 1-inch wide flat lace. It's just very plain, and I'm going to slip this through the little bail. Okay. Like that. And of course we're not finished with this yet. And I'm just going to tie it once here at the top, and I'm going to pull it upwards and really give it a tug. On both sides like this. Okay. And we're going to cut that off. And you can kind of slide it around like that. Now if you're going to put it through this large bail, I don't know if you can or can't, but I would definitely hold on to the bail. This doesn't look like it's going to do that, so I'm not going to force it. I'm just going to move it on around like that, just to kind of hide it a little bit when you hang it up. See? It hides the knot a little bit, okay? You can see here. Alright, and I wanted to add something to do with nature on here. So I had a couple packages of the little plastic reindeer that you pick up at Hobby Lobby for I think it's either $2.99 or $3.99, but they're half off right now. And there is a package of 4. And what I did was I took my black Sharpie and I made his little hooves a little darker, put a little more black on his nose, and then I took a gold metallic paint pen and I painted the antlers. Then I put a teeny weeny little bow on here. I made this with a 1/8 inch ribbon, and then I added a little 4mm rhinestone in the center of that. So I kind of fancied him up a little bit. Okay, I thought it would be nice to hot glue him right there. Okay, so I'm going to take my glue gun and put some hot glue here and then up here. And then I'm going to decide where to put this. I think about here would look good. I think that would look cute. Just like that. You gotta have something with nature on a little ornament where there's flowers and pine and things like that. So, alright, so I'm going to let this little guy dry, and then I'll see if we can add a bow at the top, and if not, then we'll just leave it be. Okay, so I decided to leave the bow off. I think it looks good like this, and it doesn't really need anything else on top. So this is the way this little ornament turned out. And of course, using the glittered cardstock that I bought from Walmart, this enables you to print on the back with a printer, so you could easily print, you know, the person's name and the date and who it's from. And I made this too. This is using the same process as this. The only difference is I added a little bird, and this bird from the chest to the very tip of the tail is about 1 inch. And then I used the wedding dress lace on top of that, so I thought that turned out really pretty as well. I did put a bow on this one. So I really hope you enjoyed this video and you give these a try. And thank you so much for watching. Have a very Merry Christmas, and God bless you all. Bye-bye.